birthing something out of his church that was meant to see over. Okay? It was meant to have revelation and understanding. And the Spirit of God is not going to birth out something in the midst of pestilence. He's taking us to a dimension, a shift. Somebody say shift.
Shift.
Say it again, say shift.
Shift.
God has to shift us into ascension.
Yes.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
He has to take us to ascension because there is no confirmation of the Word of God in the same realm that the problem exists.
Right.
So God has to take you to another dimension so that your cycle won't stay the same. Because you can't exist in the same realm as your problem.
Come on.
Do you hear me? You can't stay in the you cannot stay in that realm. Do you understand? You can't stay there. Do you hear the Spirit of God? You can't stay there. Where you are right now, you cannot stay there. Because what God desires to do through you is not going to be able to survive if you stay there. Because the pestilence will kill it. It's too much contamination in the air. It's too much gossip in the air. God has to take you up. You're hearing too much of what somebody else thinks instead of what God is saying. God has to take you up. God desires to bring you close to his bosom so he can minister to you. And so when you get to that dimension, God will begin to sing through you. Do you hear me? God will begin to preach through you. There's a sound in heaven that only is heard when you shift and when you ascend. You know somebody has been in the face of God when they ascend. Because whatever the Spirit of the Lord is saying is what they echo. So now I'm not saying what is comfortable or what is common. I'm saying what thus saith the Lord. And there is a sound that God is echoing in the heavens. And that sound comes to bring deliverance. Do you hear me in here? That sound comes to set the captives free. But there shall be no deliverance unless you open up your mouth. There will be no deliverance if you don't hear what God is saying. God is saying that I'm setting people in position to hear the sound. And when you hear the sound, it is your responsibility, come on somebody, to break the silence. Because if you sit in silence, the earth will never hear your cry. Because even though the earth is travailing, the earth is waiting to hear something. Because when the earth travails and the church responds, there is a collaboration then of heaven and earth. And that which was spoken in heaven can now manifest on earth. Hello, somebody. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That means, God, I don't just want you to do something in the sky. I want you to manifest something in my spirit. I don't just want you to have an experience with me when I get to the house of God. I want to know you in all the intimate parts of my spirit. That there are things that God should know about that I need you to reach down into the deepest parts of my spirit and pull out that which you have called holy. I'm about to close my eyes and start preaching. There's nothing wrong with you.
Come on, hallelujah.
Do you understand? Most of your problems come because you are trying to manifest something greater than what you're in. Can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
Weakness disagrees with greatness.
Yes, it does.
All right.
There are spirits that disagree with your greatness. They don't like you.
Yes.
Obviously. Now you get in a mess whenever you think that it's a person that don't like you. It's not about the person. It's about the Spirit of God that's in you. And now all of a sudden what's in me is challenging you. Now if what's in me is holy and what's in you is not holy, there's a disagreement. And suddenly you begin to attack me instead of accepting what thus saith the Lord. Because my life is supposed to challenge. My life is supposed to bring someone up to the consciousness that mediocrity is not of the kingdom. That the standard that we see so frequently in the earth realm is not meant for the kingdom. I'm not supposed to settle for what is common or settle for what people are used to. There are people right here in this house today that are chosen to bring deliverance to this city, but people continually categorize them for Bebe's son and Sister Sally's daughter. But you're not just somebody's daughter. You're an anointed son of God. And so if the Spirit of God calls you, then there's something that needs to come out. And so I don't care if somebody does disagree with you. It is your responsibility to seek out the revelation of God. And if God said to get in position and begin to push, then it does not mean I'm going to wait for somebody to guide me. It means that I'm going to trust that when I get to this altar and I begin to pray and I begin to fast, then I don't have to wait on no confirmation of nobody but Jesus. Because the Lord said that I'm going to send you and prepare the way of the Lord. But you hear the voice of the Lord saying, prepare ye the way of the Lord. It's a voice in the wilderness. Don't you hear the Lord saying, come and prepare my way, because I desire to bring something to you, but it's too much mess in the way. It's too many people in the way. How's God going to touch you when somebody else is too close to you? Because when somebody gets too close, they know too much. Because humanity seems not to know how to respect. This is not familiarity now. We call this relationship. Now people are trying to pervert the principle of relationship and say, oh yeah, that's just sister so-and-so. And then you begin to commonize the gift that's in the person. They're a vessel. They're full of they're full of all.
Yes.
Come on, y'all too quiet in here. They're full of all. And all they want to do is tap into your all. They don't want to pull back. It's two things that disrespectful people do. In the house of God. Number one, they want to take from your oil and not replenish. Number one, you ain't put nothing in there to be taking nothing out. Because if God put me through a sacrifice, that means that I sacrifice for that which I'm birthing. And you ain't supposed to touch it if your hands ain't clean. And you don't have access to that which is in my spirit if there's no covenant relationship. Covenant is that which God connects. They're surrogate people of God. They come into the house of God. They'll give you a word. But as far as that kind of revelation that keeps you walking holy, that comes from covenant. Number two, they want you to manifest when it's convenient to them.
Say that.
Because suddenly I don't want to respect or honor you for the man or woman of God you are. But I need you to pray for me now when it's convenient for me. I'm talking to a generation that's ordained of God. But there's a tyrant spirit. Very, very intricate spirit. It comes into the house of God trying to put on sheep's clothing. And what it tries to do, it tries to abuse. Two things it does. It abuses, and then number two, it tries to molest. Now spiritual molestation, then it tries to prostitute. And then suddenly I want you at my church because you bring people into my house. How? Knowing good well the vision ain't carrying the word. You prostitute in this generation. Anytime you try to carry your ministry on somebody else. Because now a son or a daughter of God feels obligated to serve you when God didn't call them. God didn't call you to that house, but they're older than me. And that's my parents. So I feel obligated. When God did not call you to manifest in that house, because they categorize you as unholy. That's not how God manifests. That's not how God functions. God will not send you into a house or send you to a city to manifest with people who only like what's in you and not like you. There are people, they like what you do. Okay? They like when you prophesy. They like when you preach. But they got a problem with your personality. So now you can't respect me unless I'm preaching in the house of God, or giving you a word when you need one, or fasting and praying, or interceding at the altar. As long as I'm tired and sweating, you're fine with who I am. But the moment I say I'm going to stand, and I'm going to stand with boldness, that which God called me to do will not just be done behind this altar, but I'm challenging myself to only surround myself with kingdom people. That I'm only going to stay with the people that actually like me. Ain't nothing wrong with that.